how was working with Alexander McQueen.
No, and you're right. It was amazing. And yes, I should mention here that I was working in New York City. So after I left Gagosian Gallery, I worked really in fashion PR. I worked for a woman called Eleanor Lambert, and she was 90 at the time. And Eleanor Lambert was considered the doyenne of American public relations for fashion. I have to say, on day one, she's like, okay, you can clean my files. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have an art history degree. I wasn't a Gagosian gallery, but okay, okay, fine, I'll clean your files. So I went to clean her files and I opened these different filing cabinets and it was amazing. There were like these handwritten notes by the Duke and Duchess of Windsor to Eleanor Lambert, by Jackie O to Eleanor Lambert. I mean, and for me, it was like diving into this incredible archive. I mean, actually, I think she did that on purpose to just like excite me and it was amazing. And at that time, still people didn't really know too much about Swarovski, but she certainly appreciated Swarovski because she knew that yes, actually Chanel used to work with Swarovski in on a business to business side. So she gave me all these European clients to work with. So here I was in New York City representing these European family businesses in communication. So whether it was the Missoni family or Trussardi or Valentino, and I thought this was my aha moment to work at Swarovski. I thought, my gosh, I actually also do have a European family business with its roots in fashion, but nobody knows about it. And that, Sebastian, was when, these stories that my grandfather told me about who he worked with really kind of knocked on my subconscious and said, you got to go and do the same thing. Go find the equivalent of Christian Dior. And so I looked around and I realized, there were quite a few established fashion designers that were not interested in working with Swarovski crystal. And I thought maybe the young guard has a different approach and they have a great mindedness to working with different materials. And Alexander McQueen popped up because he also had no financing. He was so poor. He would walk the beach at Brighton and picked up different materials like plastics or glass or stone or feathers or old washed up pool furniture and used these materials in his clothes. So when I said, would you like to work with crystals? Yes.
His eyes.
Yeah, was, it needs to be an exchange. We give you the product and some financial support for the shows, but we want your creativity. And boy, did he give us his creativity. It was amazing.
How old was he?
So he was quite young. He must have been 30 in his, late 20s, early 30s. An incredibly shy person, but you could tell when you were talking to him, when we showed him the product, the brain was just going. There. He instantly, in the minute also, and this was then an equation that I loved seeing, and that's why I created these offices called creative service centers. The minute designers actually touched the crystal, they went off. The creativity kicked in. I could talk what I wanted to talk. They didn't hear me anymore. But so he had some amazing shows in London, but also in New York, and it had huge resonance. And I have to say, he just endorsed our product so much, which also resulted years later in Swarovski's sponsorship of his museum exhibition at the Victoria and Albert Museum of his show Savage Beauty. And I think at that time that was the second fashion exhibition that the V&A had. And at the time, museums didn't really have fashion exhibitions. Now it seems normal, but back then, because fashion wasn't really considered art. But yes, actually, fashion is art. It is so artistic. It does deserve to be in a museum because so often it is a reflection of the zeitgeist, just as portraiture is a reflection of the zeitgeist, and he just broke through so many barriers in terms of his creativity, and he was copied in so many ways, whether it's his style, whether it's the use of crystal, thank you very much, and we certainly saw a huge impact in our sales after having worked with him. We saw an impact in our reputation, because people would be looking at our consumer product, which were the figurines,